Hello and welcome to episode 132 of the
G-Nerds podcast.
I was going to say the JayMike podcast for some reason. The Boot Nerds podcast. JayMike, what's going on?
Look, as you can maybe hear on my voice, I'm suffering the aftermath of what everyone's been going through. I've been down with a vid, and it is what it is. So we're finally back again. And today we're gonna be talking about some pretty cool stuff. But apart from being down and sick as a, oh man, I had the man flu. It was bad, Josh. It was bad. But apart from that, I'm pretty. United are winning again. They're not losing all the time. Things are turning around, so I'm not complaining. How are you?
I'm great. Just snowstorms and shoveling and cold, and it's great. Loving it.
Yeah, we even had a snowstorm the other day, just out of the blue. It was raining that day. We were all like, bloody rain. It's always rainy in Denmark. And then all of a sudden, snow just started, hammering down. We had to play football in a couple of centimeters of snow because they couldn't clear the pitch. It was ridiculous.
For anyone that's never played in snow, it's unpleasant.
But it's not like playing actual football. It's just like pretending to play football, but it's like for those of you who've played FIFA on really, really bad servers or on a really bad connection, it's like that. It's like that. It's just completely random what happens.
Yeah, that's a pretty good way to put it, actually. Yeah.
Thank you.
And then the cold, I don't know. Yeah. My feet are always kind of cold as it is, and then just playing with frozen feet, and then there's snow on the ball, and it just it's not fun.
It sucks. And, especially, tackles and when you fall. And I'm a small guy, so whenever these big Danish brutes, they come running into me, I just, I take so many tumbles. And, you fall in like that much snow, it's no fun. It's no fun, honestly. You get soaked and, it is what it is. I'm not complaining. So yeah, but Josh, today we're going to talk about a little bit of a fun thing that the sharp observer will have probably noticed that right now on the market we have a lot of colorful football boots. But the funny thing is that those colorful football boots, out of all of the colors they could choose from in the color spectrum, some of them look a little bit similar. So a while back, Mizuno dropped this, right? And this is a baby blue, Morelia new 3 beta Japan. And it's a bit of a, it's not the most common colorway ever, I would say. Especially because it has accents of red. And I would say that is not every day. Light blue boots have been around since forever, right? But light blue and red accent boots have not been around forever. The thing is that then a couple of months pass, and then Nike drop this. They drop the Blueprint Mercurial, which is also baby blue, and also has accents of warm colors. This orangey yellow and red. Cool. Then what happens is that short time after, Adi, they drop their Sapphire Edge pack, which is also baby blue with these pink accent colors. And I mean, it's not exactly the same baby blue, but I mean, if you look at it, it's exactly the same baby blue. And it's like they all had a call and said like, look guys, what are we doing for February? And they were all like yeah. You know what? I have this idea, right? And so it seems like there was just a group of 1, 2, 3 guys who just decided that, hey, this is what we're going to do. Everyone's going to do this. What are they copying each other? What's the deal here? Obviously they're not. But what do you say about that?
It's quite the coincidence, because you're right. It's a weird color to all release in such a short period of time. It's not like they all came out with white boots or they all came out with black boots or some of the more common colors we're used to seeing. These are relatively unusual. It really makes you wonder what's going on. Like I always kind of think like, do they have spies inside of like the brands to figure out what's going on? And then as a way of trying to compete against these brands, like planning similar colorways? I don't know.
But here's the deal, right? Of course, there will be some sort of, I don't know this for a fact, but I can only imagine that, of course, there will be people who, there is industrial espionage or, everywhere, right? And this is just, I don't have the facts, but I'm just, I have this gut feeling, right? But it's just like, let's say that Adi caught wind of Nike rolling with this baby blue blueprint colorway. Why on earth, like they have this information, this is going to happen in spring 22. Why on earth do they then decide to do, you know what? Let's do the exact same, but just with pink instead. That will teach them. That will show them who's, like, that doesn't make, why not differentiate themselves a lot from what they know is coming? I'm also thinking, like, are they in touch with these like agencies that can tell you, oh, this is going to be what's going to be fashionable for spring 2022? Is this like these are the hype colors, these are the trends going on in the market, and then either the trend companies are just very good at predicting stuff, or they all speaking to the same company. It's just I'm just looking around my collection here, and right there's boots from dating back to like 1998, and there aren't that many light blue, baby blue boots. I mean, I count the Hypervenom 3s. Okay, then what else is there?
There was a 2010 F50 Addy Zero in like a cyan blue. The iTuned came in a similar color.
Yeah, there's the launch colorway of the Future 5.1, which is the exact same color actually as this one.
Yeah.
Then there is the.
I actually have them right here. The toe on these is kind of a similar color, actually.
Yeah. True. So Puma have also joined them.
So I don't know. It's kind of a weird thing.
You kidding me? It's like, yeah, it's funny, and the thing is that and we're going to talk about this in a little bit, is that it's funny that the brands are, I know that there's a finite set of colors and color combinations that you want to do, right? Which is funny that, for instance, let me just bring out the Future 5.1 and just let's take a look at it.
Personally, and I know I think we've talked about this before on the podcast. We have talked about this topic before, right? I think a long time ago. And
have we? Look, we've made 132
I know.
episodes.
I feel like we've discussed something along these lines, and I understand that there's probably some legit science behind these companies that do interesting studies on which colors are going to be more popular or more desirable at whatever time of the year it may be. I don't know that actually correlates to like what consumers actually want. Like I would love to know what the psychology logic is there in them thinking, you know what, in February of 2022, there's going to be a lot of people that they're going to see this baby blue football boot and they're going to really want it.
Like, damn.
Like what science could they possibly have that indicates that? Like, it just is so weird to me.
I don't know. But the funny thing is that if I remember correctly, these also came out. Didn't they come out in spring as well? Probably came out in spring. I want to say
so. And like, I get the fall, spring, summer, winter collections. Like you see this a lot in fashion and clothes and stuff like that.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I don't believe that it really applies to football boots.
Well, darker months, especially fall, maybe darker boots are nice because, you play a lot there's a lot of rain and there's a lot of mud and, at least in Denmark, it's a shit show. Pardon my French, but it's just, I would definitely go for less bright boots, darker boots that don't look as bad when it's but yeah, I get what you're saying. Are these, let's assume that there are these hype companies that kind of dictate or tell people where to go, but are they actually predicting the streams in the market, the movements in the market, or are they actually creating the hype colors and looks and
man, to me, it really sounds like like all the brands are going to somebody with a crystal ball and they're paying them to say, you know what? In February of 2022, I think this is going to be the color. And he's just completely making it up. Like, Nike, if you want me to consult you on what you should release in 2024, I know exactly which colors are going to be the most popular. Just, I'll get on a call. I'll give you all the information you need.
Take 10%.
I just, the only other thing I can think of, Jay, is, again, we talk about the industrial espionage, as you called it, and they have spies internally, and they know, okay, Nike's going to release a baby blue Mercurial in February. We need to have a baby blue Speedflow. And I think that some of the logic between doing colorways that are so similar and releasing them at the same time is you're now making consumers choose. Because this is the Boot Nerds podcast. Everybody watching and listening to this is into football boots on a deeper level.
Yeah.
You care about the material of the upper. You care about the stud pattern and the fit and all these things.
Not everyone.
The uneducated consumer is going to be like, oh, baby blue, I like that.
Yeah.
And I think if there are options from multiple brands in the same color, now you're forced to choose based on more than just the color. And perhaps that's a way of persuading the average consumer to potentially buy from you rather than somebody else.
Yeah.
Because if the Mercurial is blue and the Speedflow is red, if you like red boots, you're just going to buy the Speedflow if you don't know any better.
But that's what I mean. I understand what you're saying and you're making a good point, right? But if you are, why enter a red ocean where there's like, right at that point, there were 3 baby blue boots. And, instead of saying, you know what, let's go out of the norm and just do like something, let's make a red boot or a golden boot or, yeah, speaking of which, Adi made a golden boot. It's a really cool colorway, the messy boot, by the way. I love it. The whole blocking with more matte coating that they have on top of this clearer top coat. I think it looks really good. Messy logos are smaller, which is nice for a grown-up man like myself who actually wants to wear it. And really good looking. The funny thing is that this warm orange colorway was also used by Nike, also for the blueprint pack on the Phantom GTs. And they have dropped within, the space of a couple of days.
Mm-hmm.
What a coincidence. Like, I'm not saying there's some bigger conspiracy at play here, right? But it's just, it's funny to me that we have these colorways. And yeah, these are not as similar. It's not the same shade of orange as we see on the blueprint Mercs and the Speedflows and Morelias, right? But it's orange.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, it's a really, really. I personally don't think you can call that coincidence. Like it just seems strategic to me.
Yeah, maybe. But I was thinking, like, is it it's spring and it's not spring yet. That might be pushing it. It's February, right? We're bordering on March, and maybe it's turning into spring soon, right? But we want to give people like these warm and fresh and like positive colors. But then why on earth do you have these like cold and look? This is something that's beyond me, and I know I've been in the business for a long, long time, but I just haven't really cracked why they choose to go with the colors that they do. That would be a very interesting thing to actually learn from an insider.
Also, just to add to the weird orangish yellow color, the New Balance boots that they released for Mane for AFCON are almost the exact same color as well.
Yeah, that's true.
Really strange.
Yeah. and we talked about how you can. Do you remember back in the day? Was it like that? Must have been 2011, maybe early 2012, because it was late in the cycle. The Adi that was the launch colorway of the Adi Power. Launch color Adi Power. It was also this baby blue. Mm-hmm. It was black and it was yellow. It had those black and yellow elements, right? At the same time, Nike launched the T90 Laser 3 in baby blue, with the black rubber pads that had the yellow elements.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. And they are, I just, we'll show the pictures on screen right now. I looked them out on the internet and they are exactly the same colors, like 1 to 1. Mm-hmm. So it's been going on for a while, and they basically came out at the same point. So yeah, I'll just send you the This is a High Tech Bootnerds podcast, and we are super well prepared and did this before the podcast started. We got to talking about many other stupid things. So
I knew exactly which ones you were talking about.
It's uncanny, right? So it's just to say that it's not exactly a new phenomenon. And again, does this prove anything? No. And by the way, we're not saying that Adi are spying on Nike. It might be the other way around. They might not be spying on anyone, or it might just be a total coincidence. We're not making any claims here. That's very important. No one should come and sue us. But it's just it's a funny thing that there are some very, very strong trends at times. For these launches. And I think the reason we're clocking onto it is also because it's been a while since we've seen such a big coincident or such a big coincidental similarity between at least 2 or 3 boots.
Mm-hmm. And blue, I would say blue in general is extremely popular amongst all the brands right now, which I don't quite understand, but it's how it goes.
I was just looking around, and I don't really have a point with this, but I just thought, orange. Right now, orange is the talk of town, and I just thought, it's been a lot of orange boots over the years. Different shades of orange, and it's just like it seems to always be. This was a spring colorway. I definitely remember that. This was early summer, I think, colorway, the Uprising. The Uprising Future. This was also relatively early in the year. These were definitely also a spring thing. Probably was it March or April they released. I think it was back in 2018. This will have also been did that come out? Well,
would have been summer.
It's a World Cup pack, yeah. So it's probably an early thing, right? Just not like I just went around, picked super. Maybe it's a spring thing.
I don't know.
Let us know what you think. Your thoughts are as good as ours, and maybe we have some insiders who can give a bit of share a bit of knowledge. That would be great.
It is a weird thing to see the brands just trending with certain colors during certain time of the year.
Yeah. What do you think about like reusing old colorways that have worked? Let's say that Nike realized, this Vapor 12 in orange is I was super powerful back in the day. Let's do it again. Would you like to see that, or would you be against it?
I'm very pro remake colorways. I know there's a lot of people that love to say they're running out of ideas with almost everything that big brands do, which whatever, sure. Like you're gonna have
might also be one of us on the podcast who have said that before.
You're gonna have some repetition with so many releases. But personally, I always like the callbacks to older models.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of that. I love an opportunity to discuss and even just think about the history of football boots, even if it's just a color.
So now you actually have the chance, and it was just I just thought of this by accident. Have another chance to reminisce the good old days, more specifically of the summer of 2018 and the Just Do It pack. Now I'm showing you this boot, but you know exactly what I'm thinking of, which is this one, the brand new Repula. That is, in essence, a Just Do It Magista from 2018.
Those look excellent in person, by the way. The
they
new
do.
Mizuno pack, I think the pictures do not do it justice.
No.
It's underwhelming in pictures. In person, they look awesome. And I think the same could be said about that particular Nike pack as well. They looked way better in person.
It was amazing, especially with the electroplated tooling. Now it's a little bit worn, obviously, but yeah, that was so cool. That was so cool. But I just immediately thought of the Just Do It pack when I saw this. And I know it's difficult when you have white and you use these like pastel or like slightly faded flat colors. Yeah. But still, I love the pack. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, looks really good.
The Neos are chef kiss.
The Neos are cool. And it's cool. The mixture of color between the blue and the gray and the pink and the gray in the plastic mold of the sole plate, I think is a really cool detail. It gives you the effect of that wearable finish, but it's not actually a wearable finish, which I think is really nice. On the Neo in particular, it almost kind of looks like, it kind of reminds me of like water.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
A little bit.
That's I actually hadn't thought of that, but that's pretty cool. I would say, they've made a couple of really cool white colorways on the Neo 3s. I think obviously the launch colorway, the white, black, and red is spectacular. Still like up there among the best. That white, blue, and red. Just get it.
Yeah, I know exactly which one you're talking about. That's a good one as well. I like that one as well.
Phenomenal.
That is a good one.
But this
I would
is
like
up
to
there.
see them do something a little bit more adventurous with the Neo 3 Beta as far as colorways go.
But
I know
like
we got
something
that
like this.
that one's really bright. We got the really bright red one, but I think they had some really good ones early on with the Morelia Neo.
Yeah, I agree.
I think of the gold ones, the gold and black ones. I really liked. Even some of the early, like they did that purple and neon green one was kind of cool.
You
really
like that?
early on, they did that like lime green. It was the original Neo. This is like must have been in like 2010, 2011. That lime green color. I feel like they should do more stuff like that.
Forest green and orange, OG Neo, which is also kind of cool. Yeah,
those are cool too.
But
I think Mizuno is also a brand that understands their consumer base more than anyone.
Yeah.
And I think their consumers tend to prefer black or white bases.
Let me just put it this way. There were some colorways of the Morelia 2s, the Neo 2s, that I did not enjoy. You know, yeah. I'm looking at those yellow, neon yellow and blue, which were not very, it's not my kind of deal. Anyways, we're going wildly off track. I like these. I like the Rebulas, but they are very similar to the Just Do It guys. So I don't know if there's a conclusion or if we've arrived anywhere, but it was just a fun little topic to discuss and go over. And again, we'd love to hear your thoughts. And if anyone has knowledge on, how these things are actually chosen or decided, the colorways, it would be great to, share it with us. I'd love to know personally. It's one of those things that I don't really know still after being in the business for so long. So yeah. Any closing comments on that one, Josh?
No, I think we can end the conspiracy theories there.
And there have been a lot. Let's go to some questions. And obviously we have quite a lot of questions because we didn't do a podcast last week because I was having the man flu. Let's just put it like that. We have one from Tong
If you have any
Huang.
questions, sorry to interrupt you, but if you have any questions you'd like it to answer in a future episode, feel free to leave them down in the comments.
Thank you for that. I always seem to forget that. Why do I always seem to forget that?
It's okay.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I'm here.
People are great at leaving questions anyways. But Tong Huang, hey guys, is SR4U laces history now that Josh introduced pure laces?
No. So let me explain this because I felt like I did explain it, but maybe a lot of people don't read the caption on Instagram, and I never really made an official statement on this. A lot of people want to be able to order SR4U laces and Pure Grip socks products together because you don't want to pay for shipping twice. I totally understand that. Unfortunately, they are two separate companies that operate independently of each other, and I can't mix them. There's a bunch of different reasons for that, but long story short, I can't mix them. So I figured because there is a demand for replacement laces, I would offer laces on the Pure website under the Pure brand. So you have that option. SR4ULaces.com remains a thing. They still sponsor this very office chair that I've recorded every Boot Nerds podcast episode with. They're not going anywhere, but you can buy black or white laces at puregripsocks.com now. $3.99 a pair. Super affordable. Same price as SR4U laces, but they're available in one place. And that's the explanation.
That's the official statement.
That's the official statement.
Well, awesome. We have a question here from Jamieson Simpson. Hi, Josh and Jay. I am super impressed and interested by Puma's sustainable boots, the First Mile boots. The Ultra and Future made from plastic bottles seem amazing. However, I was wondering about your thoughts on the Vegan King Platinum. Much love from Scotland. Let's just touch on the First Miles real quickly. Because, oh my God, oh my days.
It's a cool color. It's an unusual colorway.
Yeah, but it just screams a premium and luxury and exclusivity. And I don't know if it's the right colorway for a boot like this because I'm thinking like I associate these colors with like yachting and sailing, and all this sort of high society stuff. And that might not be an people are laughing at me in the studio here for saying this. I've said it a million times before, but maybe that's not the right story to tell for all of these societies gathering the plastic bottles and all that stuff. But I think it's a great story, and I think it's awesome for Puma to are these going to save the world and save all the problems? No, they're not. But it's a great place to start, and it's a great way to drive awareness around this thing that's actually it's pretty serious. I mean, all the garbage, all the plastic in the oceans is something that we, in my book at least, should take very, very seriously. So apart from just being a great looking pair of football boots, it's a very honorable cause that I would really like to support on a personal level.
Yeah, I like the idea of it. I like the colorway. I think from a logistical standpoint, it makes me question why don't they just do them all that way, since there's no real difference that you can tell as far as the material and the feel and the performance is concerned. But then I also question, is it far more expensive to make the material out of these recycled materials?
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I know these retail for the same price as the normal ones, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, I think they do. Let me just.
But I would wonder if that were to become a standardized thing across the board for Puma, let's say, would that cause them to have to increase prices? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, 200 euros on unisportstore.com, shameless plug. But yeah, it's and they have been selling like hot bread in the morning. These
it is a cool like it's out of all the colorways that come out these days and the amount of repetition that's out there. I can't think of really much that looks quite like those.
No, I agree, and especially on the Ultra. I mean, they have this like almost like seaweed color. I think it's pretty cool with the reference to well, it's not exactly the plastic bottles that are in the ocean, but now they're gone, so you can actually see what's normally in the ocean. It's cool. And I guess, long term, maybe it's also because it's a collaboration with First Mile, this organization that makes sure that sources all of this plastic, makes it happen. It would be cool in the future for Puma to obviously just source it themselves, and it's not a First Mile thing. It's just that's how it is on Puma boots, and maybe get even more than 42% or up to 42% of the boots made from recycled materials. It's a process, and I'm definitely positive about what Puma are doing, but hopefully it's just the beginning towards recycling and reusing recyclable materials.
Yeah, and that's kind of my point, I guess. Is this a real thing that Puma's trying to take on, or is this another like marketing PR stunt?
Yeah.
Kind of like honestly, it's to a different level than what Adidas did with those vegan Predators. But like to find out that the only thing different with the vegan Predator is the type of glue they use. Like seriously, like you make the whole thing these are vegan football boots. This is so different than anything else that you, like, are you kidding? Yeah. Like that's a complete publicity stunt. In my opinion.
Total publicity. I mean, it's good that they're aware of it, but it's just, okay, maybe vegan is not the right way to try and make a difference because it's already mostly vegan. I mean, make the glue vegan and cool, but don't make a story about it. I think the whole, using recycled materials, that's a great story, and I wish more brands would do it and not maybe make it even a story, just make it a thing. Yeah, like Nike are doing with their football shirts using old recycled bottles. Anyways, the vegan King Platinum. I'll be honest, I haven't had the chance to see it in hand yet because I've been sick. So I don't really have much to say. I hope, for the sake of Puma and for the boot, that it's better than the normal King. And since it's not leather, so there is a chance that it's actually soft and pliable. But the shape of the boot is probably not what I like. If it had been the old Puma King Platinum with a soft vegan upper, I think I'd love to try it.
Yeah, the current King Platinum 21 is a mess. Like I don't see why anyone would purchase those even if they were 50% off. Like it's not a good football boot.
But there are just so many other boots that are also fairly priced. I would say, the made in Indonesia Rebular Cups, the Legend 9 Pros, it's just, there's just no point really.
Yeah, I don't understand what they've done with that. But as far as the vegan model is concerned, I don't see how it could be worse. So I'm optimistic. But at the same time, do I want a full synthetic Puma King? Not necessarily.
Well, I mean, some of the older Puma Kings in synthetic. You remember that King SL, the yellow black one in synthetic leather?
I do remember those, but I also would like to point out that when Puma took the King in the synthetic direction in general, that's when it originally died off.
Oh yeah. But that model in particular is pretty. I like that. But the others, not so much.
Yeah, I don't know.
A King should be leather, right?
In my opinion,
or at least a synthetic leather that's so good that you and I can't tell the difference.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just I recognize the whole leather thing, man. Yeah. But you haven't seen the vegan leather in hand either.
Not yet, no. I think I'm supposed to get them either today or I think today they're supposed to show up. Actually,
all right. So maybe by the time you're watching this or very soon, there will be a video up on Josh's channel, SR4U.
There will be a video.
Yeah. And I also hope for the sake of the boot that it's better. Otherwise, it's going to be just like a complete roasting. So let's see what happens. Josh, have you been making comments under your own name on the Bootnerds podcast channel? That is, I don't think you have though. I can't believe I'm watching two recognized boot reviewers who say that this boot, the Geometric Predator Edge, is somewhat cool. I'm so confused. And I read that a couple of times and I could laugh about it. And thank you for calling us two recognized boot reviewers, by the way. But being a recognized boot reviewer doesn't necessarily mean that you have universally good taste.
I was thinking the same thing.
We think that they are somewhat cool because they are really crazy and they appeal to us. But look, we're also I'm gonna turn 34 this year. Maybe I'm just completely my feet know what's up in terms of how boots are supposed to feel, but I'm not claiming to. Of course, I have amazing taste, but not everyone might think so. So I think, something in the looks department. Thankfully, when we're reviewing boots, we're not reviewing looks. Let me just put it that way.
Yeah. Unless we are talking about colorways, at which point our opinions are just like everyone else's, where it kind of doesn't matter.
True. They are universally true.
Yeah.
Of course.
So I don't know. What I appreciate about that colorway in particular is that it hides what is a pretty extreme design from the Predator Edge.
Yeah.
I think that's cool. Like I said in the podcast, if I said that, maybe I didn't say this, but I don't think it's something I would necessarily want to wear.
No.
But as an object to look at, I think it's visually interesting.
I agree. And it fits the silhouette of the boot well. I wore it for training just to get the reactions, and they were interesting. Fair to say that people did not enjoy the colorway as much as I did. I think it's so special, and some would call it so ugly that it's kind of cool, and I like that. It's different. But yeah, it's not. Yeah, people were very frank and said, "Damn, that is horrifically ugly." But each to their own, right? Joe Gioia. I think that Adidas really needs a true competitor to the Predator. To the Predator. If they were having to compete with something like a revived laser or a better progression of the Phantom Venom with more laser influence or a Phantom GT with more Hypervenom influence, I think the Edge would be seen as a regression. And if they do a mid-generation refresh, I don't think the V1 will get roasted as bad as the version 1 Hypervenom 2 because of not having a competitor. Thoughts here?
I think that the internet has changed the game in terms of what people perceive to be good and bad. I think it's becoming less and less where the product actually has to be good for people to perceive it as good. I think there's more and more people that just they will believe anything that they hear and anything that they're told, which gives big brands a ton of power to take something like a Predator Edge that, in my opinion at least, is not a very good football boot, marketed as the greatest thing ever. And a lot of people just automatically assume, okay, this is the greatest thing ever. They order it online. It shows up at their house. They put it on their feet. Like, oh, you know what? They're right. This is the greatest thing ever.
Because
and they don't really have anything to compare it to.
Some people actually think that the Edge is genuinely good. And it also puts a lot of power in our hands. You know, if people believe anything they see on the internet, of course you should trust us because we actually try the boots and, you know, we try to help you guys. We mean well. We're not here to just sell boots and make a lot of profit, right? But still, you know, we could also just go out and say, if we were lying, that this is a fantastic, outstanding, you know, super innovative, world-changing pair of football boots, and you know, it would be too late once people bought them, and for the word to spread. So yeah, I think on the question, the Predator definitely needs a competitor. They've been doing really well with the Mutators and the Freaks, and I think the whole refresh came organically and it came from Adi, and I think that was very good. But it's also become clear to me that with the Edge, it feels like they need one more kick up the behind because, you know, they need motivation to really think, okay, how can we actually, instead of just, it's rehashing the same idea, it's just doing it differently, right? And sadly doing it not as well in my book, but yeah, you know, if Nike entered that game again, I don't want to see another laser, but you know, the Venom was interesting, and maybe they should have pursued that a bit more power elements, stuff like that. That would be an interesting battle, and you know what generally what pushes people to move forward is competition. That's probably also why we see, you know, Ronaldo and Messi being who they are, and how you know, there's always two, right? We've seen in Formula One, it's across all sports basically, you know, two giants pushing each other in the same area. That leads to progression, and I think that would be very interesting to see.
I feel like for a long time, Nike and Adidas went toe to toe with each line in terms of what they were trying to offer as an answer to what the other brand was offering. And it kind of just went, okay, the Predator is more popular than the T90 right now. And then the T90 is now more popular than the Predator. And we kind of got responses that way. I feel like Nike and Adidas at the moment, they're more focused on their own marketing than they are actually competing against each other in terms of the product offering.
Yeah. And they're only really going head to head on the speed, in the speed arena.
Yes. Speed.
You know,
I guess they're similar in the marketing terms, right?
Yeah,
the Phantom GT and the Predator are both control boots, but are they really all that similar? No,
they're not. Yeah, it's funny. It's funny, you know. Anyways, we've got a happy Predator Edge user here, Joshua O'Neill. It's a lot of Joshes here. Are you sure you're not?
I'm positive.
I copped a pair of Edge Point 1s in black, which look really cool, by the way, and played my first game in them on Saturday. No word of a lie, I don't understand the harsh criticism, which is fair. They were hard near the toes, agree. However, as I played, it loosened up a little already. The fit is quite nice, in my opinion. Look, completely fair. I realize there are some people out there who just, they like the boots. They fit them well. And that's the, you know, the blessing and the curse of reviewing football boots, because we can only give our opinion. And if the boot doesn't fit us, doesn't fit our foot shape, or what we like in a pair of football boots, or what we think a football boot should feel like, that doesn't necessarily make it true for the next guy. So that's also, you know, when you watch reviews online of anything, always keep like a healthy level of criticism and say, okay, what can I take away from this and apply it on my own my own situation. But I mean, I'm glad to hear it's not everyone hating on it. Yeah,
look, I think personal preference is a huge aspect of football boots. And I think when you're talking about products in general, like, I don't think there's anybody watching this podcast that hasn't gone out and bought something, whether it's football boots or anything else, and then immediately gone on YouTube and looked up some kind of a review of the product that you now already own. And you bought that product because you like it, and then you go and find somebody on the internet that may or may not be credible, and they're telling you it's not very good, even though you seem to like it. So again, I think what makes a review good or bad is reasoning, and I think comparison.
Yeah.
Comparison, I think, is the aspect that a lot of people don't take into consideration when it comes to how they're passing judgment on an individual pair of football boots. Because individually, the Predator Edge is fine. If you're coming from a different pair of football boots that you didn't like very much into a Predator Edge, you might say, oh my gosh, these are so much better than what I had before. But if you don't have that element of comparison where it's like, well, here are 5 other football boots that are in the same price bracket that ultimately fit and feel for most people a lot better than a Predator Edge, but you haven't had that experience. I don't know. I just think that there's absolutely nothing wrong with buying a product and enjoying the product that you've purchased.
No. And this is also important. Like, Josh, you and I might not like the Edge as much as we would like to, but that doesn't mean that other people liking it is wrong. Like, don't let us judge you for us not liking the boot. That doesn't mean that you're wrong in buying it and liking it. Like, if you like it, I'm super happy for you. You found a boot that you enjoy playing in. Great. That's like what I do this for is to help people find a football boot that they can have a good experience with and find the best possible tool to do the job. So if that's the case, cool. I might not agree, but hey, your experience matters more than mine if it's a good one.
Yeah,
Honestly.
exactly. Your experience matters more than ours does when you're the one wearing the boots.
Exactly. But that's the thing. ISX asks, would you choose the Phantom GT or the Nike Tiempo Legend 9? I know what you're going to say, but I'm going to ask the question anyway.
Legend 9 all day long, every day. That's my favorite boot from Nike right now.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't hate the Phantom GTs. I think they're solid boots. Not outstanding. And with the Legends, I mean, again, solid boots. I don't hate them. But it just, I never find a little bit, the toe box has a little bit of a weird squared shape. And it's just, I get a new pair of Legends all the time. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna wear them. This is gonna be a good experience. Nice. Oh, they're light and streamlined, and I just never. I always go for the Mercs if I'm wearing Nike. So But
look,
if I had to, I would probably choose the Legends.
Okay, that's interesting. It's these types of questions that I think we both get all the time that are so hard to answer because while there's one that I clearly like better than the other, they're so different.
Yeah,
it's just you're comparing two opposite ends of the spectrum in terms of fit and feel.
Oh yes.
I know people hate it when I give them this answer, but it really depends on what type of fit and feel you're looking for.
Figure out what you like more. I mean, are you looking for a thinner boot? Are you looking for a boot that has a lot of texture on it? Are you looking for comfort, a really soft, moldable upper? Are you looking for a padded touch? Are you looking for a high cut boot? What are you looking for? And I know it's not exactly handing you the 100% answer on a plate, but also we wouldn't be helping you the best if we just told you go and buy the Legends. But because maybe there is a chance that you would like the Phantoms more.
Oh, Jay, this circles back to the last question.
Yeah.
What do you like? It's fine that you care about what we like, but what do you like?
Yeah.
And that's what it comes down to.
So let me put it this way. I would choose the Legend over these two because I think it does a better job holistically of giving me what I want. Like, these are great in terms of they soften up relatively well. They have a good amount of texture on the upper and the tooling, especially on the FG model, is solid. But I just feel that the Mercs do a lot of the same things and they do them a little bit better for me, especially also because of my slightly narrow foot shape. These are not bad boots. I just feel that the Mercs do it better. And the Legends are really unique in the sense they fit really well. They have a nice light sensation when you have them on foot. They're nice and padded. Tooling is excellent. And I feel that, there are more pluses to that and they're more outstanding in what they do than the Phantoms are. So if you want to get the Phantoms, get the Mercs instead.
Yeah,
I would say.
I agree with that. Yeah, that's good advice.
Thank you. I mean, I am a nerd after all. Anyways, I have a last question here from Kian Benson. Hey guys, I asked Josh on his page, but I wanted your opinion on it too, Jay. What would you guys suggest as a replacement for Adidas's A17.1 and the synthetic version of the F50 Adizero from 2012 and the one from 2015? Anything from what's currently on the market and even older models and generations across brands. Currently using the 17.1s, but they're falling apart. As for the F50s, I miss the fit and feel of both models, especially the sole plate and stop pattern of the 2015s. But not sure if that's just the nostalgia talking. English is a difficult language. What do you guys think? Yeah, what do we think? What do we like? Look, this is a tough one. I thought about it, and for the A17.1, currently, I'd probably point to the future sets. Because they have a little bit of that sensation. You have a knit midfoot, lovely knitted piece here, and then you have a slightly textured forefoot, solidly comfortable, relatively light, good all-rounder, I would say. For older models, I'd probably go for the Puma 1.1 in leather. Super underrated.
Any specific colorway?
I mean, you can choose the one of the best looking football boots ever made in the City Pack, but no, go do your thing, whatever's your jam. But
no, I think the Future Z is a pretty good call. Actually, I didn't think of that initially. My brain immediately went to Phantom GT.
Okay, well, fine.
It kind of has that firmer knit feel to the upper, which I feel like the A17.1 kind of had. It's just funny to me that I look back at the A17.1 and I think they were good football boots from a fit and performance standpoint. I didn't love the feel of that upper when it came to touch. I just, as far as knitted uppers go, I don't think that was a great one. And I feel like knitted uppers have almost gotten back to that point where there's not many knitted uppers that actually feel very sock-like anymore. Everything's almost turned into a thin synthetic again.
Yeah.
Other than the only one that still has some softness to it is the New Balance Furon.
Yeah. It has definitely has one of the most like OG knit, like Magista Superfly 4 knit sensations to it left. Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. And then for the 2012 F50s and especially the tooling on the 2015, I don't have him in the 0.1, but the X Speedflow 0.1 is arguably in my book one of the very best speed boots Adidas have ever made. The uppers are super soft. Tooling is wildly aggressive, has that really lovely bite from the bladed studs, and I think for me this is the closest thing you'll have to the 2014 Adizero, but 15s and 2012s are not far off either. 2012s for me were a little bit stiff in the upper, so I didn't like them that much, but hey, it has a very strong vibe from those boots, for me at least.
Yeah, I wouldn't say there's much quite like the 2015 F50.
Yeah, a little bit more padded, right? A little bit more solid. Yeah.
It's a more robust upper than what I think anything that's available now. But if you're talking about 2012 F50 and just early F50 Adizero models, I think the Puma Ultra, man. Like, that's... You want that raw, super thin, incredibly lightweight feel. Like, that's what the Puma Ultra is.
Yep. I agree. Fair enough. And I know you and I disagree on which of the two German brands make the better speed boot at the moment, but, maybe go and try them out and figure out which of the two models fit your feet better. They do have a slightly different fit. Speedflows are a little bit pointier, lower volume toe box. Ultras have a little bit more room in them. So, I mean, I can vouch for both of them, honestly. So, to go take a look at those.
Cool.
And with those words, that was the last of the questions for this episode of the Boot Nerds podcast. We've been everywhere, basically. If you have any questions you'd like us to answer in the next episode, leave them in the comment section right down below. If you had a good time, I mean, I did, so I should slap a like on the video. So should you. And if you haven't subscribed to the Boot Nerds podcast yet, click the white bubble in the middle of the screen. You can also go and subscribe to what Josh is doing, what I'm doing at Unisport. Click the bubbles over our heads. And tune in next time for episode 133 of the Boot Nerds podcast. With those words, I've been JayMike, and I approve this message. Thank you very much.
Thanks for watching.